Day 3 is what it rolled in to be on making that fit. You know, it's not the most perfect looking thing, but just the way it goes in there, it's not the most perfect looking thing. Once again, you know, same old, same old. Now we can get this motor up. I don't know about the alternator and the intake. I'd rather leave that intake on there, but we're going to cut this hose. And then we're going to have to loosen it up and turn it such a way to where it can whatever, because it kind of goes down like that. And I don't know if that's the return line or if that's the supply line. And we need to get that baby up. I might have to pull that intake just so it will be easier to go in and out. And you know, you got room to grab a bolt or whatever. I'll probably end up taking that line off too. Just kind of breaking it down for you and, you know, what it takes. I had to slot that hole. You know, it looks cobbled now. Look, I've had to slot a few holes to make it to where, you know, whatever would go on. But, not a big deal, you know. We're just going to keep fabric cobbling together. I'll probably end up taking that wiring harness off there all the way so I can make sure that what I'm doing is going to be okay. And these are them style fittings I was talking about. See on that line right there how it's got that on there? You can take that hose and these ends are still good. If you're careful, you can cut that off there and put that wherever you want it. And then it's a tool. If you don't break that fitting, you can crimp it back down on there. I'm not the best at it, okay? I've only done it a handful of times. I got on a car one time. Somebody took a jack and jacked it up where them lines was, and oh man, they had all kinds of problems. How it wouldn't run, nothing like that. And I happened to just smoke test the lines. I smoke test everything, nothing ever. 4 or 5 people looked at it. I was like, well, let me test these lines. You know, that guy thought he needed a factory line. I said, buddy, I can't even buy it. So, I can make you some. I went ahead and made him put it all back together, and he was kind of complaining after I fixed it that it wasn't a factory line. I said, you can't buy them. He expect me to go junkyard and change all that out and everything for the same money we talked about. I said, buddy, it's fixed. You know, if you want it done some kind of way different other than what it is, you know, I'm sorry, but you know, you can take it somewhere else because it's ready to go. He brought it back a couple of times. The dog chewing it up there a couple of times too. I don't know why it was doing that, but it did. He apologized, whatever. I just didn't want to do no more deals with him. You know what I mean? People act like that, blah blah blah. Oh, I thought you'd do me better than that. I said, buddy, you're lucky you got it fixed. 10 people looked at it, can't fix it, and I fixed it and they act that way. Make me not want to work on it no more. Not the saying I got lucky on that one. It just happened to crack it on the bottom of the lines. Look good, it cracked it across the top for whatever reason. But I think we're going to pull some more of this apart. We have to pull it out of there and get it out and beat back on that some enough to where, you know, I took a tape measure and measured it at the top of that thing, and it looked like it was maybe 1 inch. So I'm gonna tap it back from where it's at with a sledge, about 1 inch or whatever I'm thinking, and then we'll try to stab it back down in there. It's gonna have to come in and out a few more times, but if we can get that motor bolted up and get it up to where we can start, hopefully maybe weld one motor mount on and then see what it takes to do whatever. I mean, that's kind of cobbling, you know. I'd like to pull that dash out and everything, but I want to get that motor back in there and get it whatever before we can say okay, you know what I mean? If it breaks a little something here and there, like I said, we got to clearance it anyhow. We'll take some fiberglass, and once you cut it, make a cardboard template and kind of tape it in there, put some aluminum foil on it, and glue it all down, let it dry, pop it off of that aluminum foil, and scuff it all back up and put another little thin coat or whatever and make it stick so it's got what it needs. So the process of making it fit, I figured I would just, you know, you'll see a lot more guys and gals out here that make some really good videos that you know, they completely make a project and make a video out of it once a week. You know, they're really putting in some time. That probably make fun of people like me, but you know, it is what it is. I'm just showing you what I do. A lot of people say more work, less talk. Hey, I'm sorry. That's just kind of the way I do things. But we got a plate made, and I'm just trying to break these up in videos so, you know, you have a little something to look at, watch, or whatever, and hopefully we can eat up enough time gabbing a little bit and taking you through the process to where you know, you can see firsthand what it is, and through the process of something like that, be able to get jobs done to where you can watch videos. Not to, you know, not picking on nobody or whatever, but that's just the way I do it. And we're just gonna find some bolts for that right now. Once I find some bolts, I'm not gonna do nothing until I can find some bolts. If I can't find no bolts, we'll pull it up, pull a wiring harness off of it, do all the things we talked about. I need to pull it back, beat on it a little bit, and then pull it forward, drop that motor back down in there once I get some stuff pulled off of it, and see if we can bolt it up, and then hopefully we can make motor mounts. That's the very next thing we have to do, is make motor mounts. I'm going to take this hose off here so I can get in there. It'll have to be cut some kind of way. You know, and I got to look, make sure it's going to be what it is. You know. After motor mounts, I would like to get the transmission line fixed with an adapter or whatever. They got a little piece of hose, just something to screw in there. You cut one and you just take and hook it up with a piece of hose with some hose clamps, is the way they was fixing it. So I was trying to read. I've been reading and reading and reading. I don't know, that kind of looks like a 3/8 holes. So it's a 6AN fitting. I was looking at some fittings that were custom colored. It's just not black, it's just not silver. You know, it's something you can have completely whatever. And it takes a tool with a bench vise. You got to have a bench vise to put that in there to hold it, and then it's got a tool that'll suck it together once you get your line however long you need it. So it's good to read up and know exactly what you're trying to do. Not that, you know, you can do everything the first time the right way, but the more I read up on it, you know, the more it makes sense, you know. And what tools it takes to put those lines, you know, somebody's like, oh yeah, they go together, you spit on it a little bit. No, not the way. It takes a special tool to put that together to where they're not scratching the fittings and stuff like that. I'm not that particular. But, you know, make sure you got everything to make it work right the first time. And you're not gonna, whatever. This plate here you can buy for 20 bucks, you know. Is it that big of a deal? No. Transmission, sure. Fuel line, sure. You know, you can buy quick connect radiator hoses and all that these days. You know, you just put that pipe on there. It's a flexi line, however you want it, fuel lines, all that. Got a quick connect on it. You just pull it back, click it on there like it's an air hose. You know, it's something for like track cars or something. But I mean, if you're working on a hot rod, and, you know, you want something that, you know, I could take it out and put it right back, no problem, pretty easy, like, too, you know. Especially like with stuff like this, you know, it gets so rotted on that it's just too much. And, you know, with track car, of course, you just want to be able to pull the motor out. You might have it over and you stick it right back in, hook off all the hoses, and be done with it, and it's nothing. You know, depending on your help or whatever, you know, those guys. And it seemed like they was reasonably priced. You know, stuff like that, where you got to get a rubber hose and stuff like that. If it's already got that quick connect on it, baby, just pull it out, pull it right back in, whatever it takes. And, you know, as far as making something fit easier, it would. You know, you just put that on there, and it's got a quick connect, and you just reach in there, and you got a quick connect there, you got a quick connect there. And you do the wiring harness the same way. They even got wiring harnesses. You wire it all up to a pin. It just unscrews and unplugs, and it unpulls with the motor and everything ready to go. Makes a lot more sense. And it's clean. You know, they get rid of all this jazz. And I think they even had like AC lines and heater hoses that did the same thing. You're not playing with it, you know. But that's saying a lot, you know. It turns it into something, you know, different.